Hi guys, Pete Mazaris, the Home Inspector Mentor, here to talk to you about process and routines. My experience with establishing a best-in-class inspection business is centered around process and routine. And so it is vitally important that you establish a routine for what you do when you're on site inspecting a house, whether you start on the inside or the outside, up on the roof, in the attic, work your way down, flushing things to the basement. You should have a routine of how you go through a house. And that way, you are less likely to miss inspecting something. And you should also have, as part of that routine, a self check list that you have maybe on a clipboard. And great idea if you are just starting out so that you are not forgetting anything. And I would also include on that checklist a list of things that you should check in the final 5 minutes going through the house to make sure that you've left the house the way that you found it. And so, nothing worse than leaving an inspection and then getting home and wondering if you turned off the electric baseboard heaters, right? Not a good feeling. I've been there. So, a way to prevent that from happening is to have a closing checklist for leaving the house. And if you follow that, you should have no problems with sleepless nights like I used to have. And so if you establish a routine and something takes you out of that routine, then then you're going to have to go back through certain areas of the home extra carefully because you were taken out of your routine. See, if you do things the same way each time, then that keeps variation out of your process. And variation is the enemy of quality. And in our case, quality equals thoroughness and detailedness and nothing missed, right? And so that's the name of the game. If you establish yourself in your marketplace with the best process, the best routine, the best reporting system, the best communication system, then people will line up to knock on your door, figuratively, and hire you, especially the realtors, because not every home inspector can do that. Whether it's that they don't know how to do it, or they haven't tried to do it, or they don't think it's important. But to me, nothing is more important than establishing a great process, and it comes from routine. And if you are a new inspector, one way to get there before you start doing inspections for a fee is to practice for free on friends and family's houses, like I mentioned in another video. And so, other than that, establishing what your process is, and each time you do an inspection, you get better at it. And a good idea is to start documenting that process. And what that does is you start to establish a operations manual. And so if you have an operations manual, as you learn, as you go through your home inspection experience, you can add things that you learn process-wise, or actually corrective actions that you take when you maybe get a complaint because you missed something or you misreported something. Very important. So as you go through your career or your time as a home inspector and you start documenting things like this and start establishing a ops manual, operations manual, then as you start to hire employees in the future, it's easier to train them your way because you have already established in writing what your process is, what your procedures are, and your corrective actions that you've taken when you've gotten complaints. So again, in my opinion, process, on-site inspecting, routine, the efficiency of it, the communication style that you have with your customers and realtors on site, and then the report you deliver, hopefully the same day, is what will set you apart from the inspection field in your area. And I know if you're a newer inspector that it's pretty daunting to see all of us experienced inspectors out there with our big websites and our certifications and our relationships that we already have with realtors. But remember, there is always an opportunity for new people, new inspectors to come into any market area and start to capture market share. And the way you do that is first concentrating on process quality, process of your routine, and again, your communication and your reporting. And if you focus on that before you start going out and trying to market yourself too hard or starting to advertise, um, that's a great way to start this business. Of course, it's not going to light your life on fire or your business on fire right away, but it's going to establish an important fundamental basis and foundation of your business. Nothing is more important than your on-site process and paying attention to detail and being thorough. And the way you get there is by focusing on that continuous improvement and documenting it in an ops manual. So that's what I've done, and it's been very helpful for my inspection career and business. Thanks.